Don't worry. I'm not going to act like Charlie Chaplin. But I do want to tell a story. A story that is very, very, very close to me. If I had to explain the importance of this story, I would say that the story defined my humor. It defines what I find funny. It really defines me. And it's something I don't talk about often, but when I do, I really want to get across the point that this story defines me. If you listen to this story in all its glorious detail, you might get a glimpse into what type of humor I'm into, where I'm coming from, and my process of coming up with jokes and silliness and random things. So I just jump into the story, I guess. Um, so there was a point in my life where I used to partake in alcoholic beverages quite a bit, more than a day or so, more than an hour or so. You could say that every 10 minutes on a clock that had a hand that's like tick, 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 every one of those ticks that might have been 10 seconds, you could say I was taking a drink. And it was at a very low point in my life. I didn't have a job, or well, I didn't have a 9 to 5. I was not in college. I wasn't doing much more than sitting around and coming up with sketches and movie ideas and things like that. And I was meal prepping to go to the gym, and I worked out a lot. And it was just a really low point in my life. Um, I I didn't do much more than work out and go lie on the beach every day and like fuck the person I was with. Um, yeah, I fucked a lot. I drank a lot. I worked out a lot, and it just made me kind of a shitty person, I think, because I would talk shit to anyone I met. It didn't even matter. I would just be like, you know what I do all day? I work out, I lie on the beach, I fuck, I drink, and I talk shit. That was something else I did. I talk shit. So I add that to the repertoire of things that I did in this period of my life. There was such a bad period of my life. So as my life was going on at this point, and as I was drinking and talking shit and fucking and doing things, I happened to live with someone who was not that fond of me talking shit and drinking all day and lying on the beach and spending her money. I should probably add that too. Like I was spending her money. I was talking shit to her and spending her money, which might have led to the whole joke. Which whatever, I also paid my penance for this joke. So, let me get back to the point. I was going through my routine every day, drinking, working out, like just being myself, not giving no fucks. And it just so happened that I guess everything mixed together one night got a little too much for the person I was living with. She was a person of smaller stature. She was a person of lower IQ. She was a person of little depth of vision. Like, she was all those things. But apparently, telling someone that is not what they want to hear, even when they say, tell me how you really feel about me. Like, they really don't want to know. Which, whatever. Dude, I didn't go to public school, so I don't know what words mean. So I just started going off one night about everything that I thought was, like holding her up and becoming a better person that she could have been in the future if she would have heeded my, not necessarily warning signs, maybe knowledge. I don't know. A lot of it had to do with don't be fat. You can do way more if you're not fat. And like, she didn't like that shit. She liked eating food and carbs a whole lot. But whatever. Besides the point. Doesn't matter. This night that I'm talking about, I was talking some mad shit. Things like that. Like, dude, don't be fat. You say you can dance. Show me you can dance. What? You call that a dance? I've seen my grandmother dance better than that when she fell into her coffin. Just like mad shit. Like, what else did we talk about? Oh yeah, her dad committed suicide, hung himself and shit. And I'm like, bitch, you trying to show me why I should stay with you? I'm understanding why your fucking daddy left you. Just fucking like banger after banger, like coming up with shit. I know now what the problem was. She wanted to be a comedian, wanted to get into comedy, wanted to get into film. Everything, it seemed like everything I wanted to do, she wanted to do too. But whenever I would be like, if you want to do these things, let's go head to head like a competition and see who really wants to do these things. And, well, some people cheat when it comes to a competition because they really can't hang and they find a way to fucking like be like, I beat you, like kicking you out of your apartment, sending you back halfway across the country because they think they can still do comedy better than you can. And if they ever watch this, they're going to know they can't. But none of that really fucking matters. But I was talking that mad shit, just like that mad shit that night. I just like, like digging deep, fucking cutting shit. And I passed out like I do most nights when I feel like I'm on a roll. I get to a point where I'm like, I gotta rest up and do something better tomorrow. I gotta like, outdo myself. So I went to sleep, and when I awoke, my hips were so sore. Like it felt like something was pushing out from the inside. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I rode over and looked at my clock. It was about 3 p.m. And I was like, I probably shouldn't have slept this late. Why does my hips hurt so fucking bad? And then as I became more awake and more aware, I felt like I did not feel like I needed to shit, nor did I feel like a shit was done. I felt like there was an in-between place. And that's where I was. I was like, the fuck's going on? So I reached down. At the time I had on shorts and gym underwear, which is basically spandex fucking panties, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. Anyways, I had on shorts and my underwear. And I reached down the back of my underwear and I felt something hanging out my butthole. And I was like, what? I touched it because I was like, did I just halfway shit myself during the night? I was like, no, that don't feel like no turd. So I gripped it and I was like, this isn't a turd either. Because if anybody knows what happens when you grip a turd, it just squeezes through your finger like Play-Doh and shit. Or for the younger generation, Tide Pods or whatever. Like, I don't really fucking know how to communicate this shit to young people. But if you grab a turd, it will squish through your fingers and stuff. And that did not happen. I gripped an actual device and I was like, whoa. I was kind of like, whoa, what's going? Well, it was more like, what? What is this? And so, in my drunkenness, I had passed out so deeply that my roommate at the time had pulled down my linens to my body, had taken their dildo, which was pink, and it also had the clip player. So it was like not just a dildo, but it was like, you know, had that going on. And at the bottom, there was beads all in it because you could turn it on and it'd wiggle and shit like that. Whatever. They had taken this device, put it up in my ass, apparently as far as they could get it, like, because the beads were on the outside of my body. So they got a good 6 inches up inside me, pulled my linens back up around my waist, and left me there to sleep. And to this day, first off, I know that's probably a crime. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just now reporting it. I think the statute of limitations is over for it being a crime. But to this day, that is the funniest thing that has ever happened to me. I cannot express how funny I find that shit. How, like, I would have never thought to do something like that to someone. And I've thought to do some fucked up things to some people. Very fucked up. But to fucking stick a dildo with a pussy tickler on it up someone's ass while they're passed out, when you have to pull their trousers down and then pull them back up, the time it took for the setup, the payoff was worth it.